How's it going, guys? Rhino here, and I hope you are all having a great weekend. I just finished off having a 6-day weekend, 1 day of classes, and then a 4-day weekend. So essentially 6 days off or 10 days off and then 1 day on, which was really awesome break. So I've been having a good weekend. I hope you guys are too. Basically, what this video is about is I tweeted some stuff out for the Women's March 2018, which is a ridiculous thing to happen, but of course, we've already discussed that. Everyone who is educated in terms of, politics and then gender issues with the genders knows that the Women's March is very flawed. But essentially, I tweeted something out, and there's this liberal who follows me who gets triggered easily by what I say, so they love to respond to me. But I'm kind of at a point where I think there's about a 90% chance they're literally just a troll. They're not really there to have any political discourse, and you'll see why in this video. But the other 10% of me wants to evaluate what's being said, as well as doing it in the form of a video is really nice because for anyone watching, it's a form of entertainment. Anyone who likes to laugh at liberal stupidity, you'll get some of that here, as well as anyone who might be up in the air about some of these topics that are talked about. It's a good way to bring you closer to the information that's correct, at least. So I'll start off by introducing what I tweeted. So essentially, you'll find this on Twitter, and I'll probably put it somewhere on screen, but I tweeted a picture of this little girl, and it says, "No one is trying to stop you. Just a bunch of feminists telling you that people are trying to stop you," because she's holding a sign that says, "I'm president of my school, editor-in-chief of my school newspaper, and I'm not going to let you stop me." Now, it's great that she has these aspirations. I think, she has a very bright future. I can tell you that much, because usually kids that small are worried about, well, actually, I don't even remember middle school that much, but they're not worried about their future career. They're not worried about becoming president. Well, isn't student body president or whatever of their school, or editor in chief of school newspaper. That stuff is awesome. Good job to her. In middle school, I didn't know jack shit about what I was going to do. I didn't have aspirations, I had dreams of what I wanted to do, but I wasn't doing anything about them. And she is actively doing stuff about them, which is very impressive. And so I give hats off to her. But the last sentence, "I'm not going to let you stop me," has implications, and we're going to get more into that later. But that's essentially the original tweet. Now, this liberal sent me a response to that says, "What's wrong, Snowflake? Does she scare you?" Now, this is where the troll really comes in. She's calling me Snowflake. To understand what I do on Twitter, when I saw that picture, all I did was laugh. I wasn't triggered. I wasn't angry. I just laughed. My Twitter and my YouTube actually is about entertainment. It's about discussing political ideas, incorrect political ideas, really, but also it's about entertainment, entertaining people. And so most of what I say is either some form of satire or I'm mocking someone. It's not that I'm triggered. And so when I look at this, I just laugh. I wasn't scared. I wasn't frightened. I wasn't shivering in my boots. I was a tiny bit disappointed in knowing that her future is going to be very bleak if she continues on this route, on this path of blaming stuff for her, blaming that that the society's trying to hold her back anytime she fails. She's going to be on a bleak path with that. But also just worrying about what the hell her parents taught her to be like this. But disagreeing with something doesn't mean you fear that. And I discussed this in one of my last videos, where defending something doesn't mean you support something, and disagreeing with something doesn't mean it scares you. Disagreeing with something and wanting to post a tweet about it, the reason why I posted a tweet was for entertainment purposes. Most people who saw that poster, who are politically engaged and understand the statistics and everything that goes into the discussion about gender inequality, they know to laugh at that poster. And so I was just sharing it with my take on it to create entertainment. I wasn't scared in the least. And so I followed up with that, and this will appear on screen as well, saying, "Where did you get that? Where'd you get that she scares me?" And I was laughing pretty hard when I read that tweet. I encourage her to chase her dreams. She just needs to know that no one is trying to stop her. And it's true, because when it boils down to it, if she becomes a politician, if she tries to become like the next Hillary Clinton, she'll be just like Hillary Clinton and blame everything except for herself. She'll have no personal responsibility. She'll blame sexism if she loses any sort of election ever, despite the fact that it wasn't sexism that lost her the election. It was how terrible of a politician Hillary Clinton was. In fact, there were more people voting for her because she was a woman than people not voting for her because she was a woman. But then she responded, "The fact that you even had to comment on a middle schooler's sign is a crystal clear indication that she scares you." And once again, no, I didn't have to comment. A lot of people who see that sign understand what's going on. I didn't feel the need to comment. I did it purely for the sake of entertainment, entertaining the people who follow me, because that's why I that's why I have any sort of following on Twitter, is because I'm entertaining. I mean, if you're not going to be entertaining, you're probably going to end up with a Twitter account like yours, where you have essentially 10 times as many following, or 10 times as many follower. You're following as many people, 10 times as many people as that are following you. Sorry. I hate the terminology with following, stuff like that. You'll end up with a Twitter like yours if you're not entertaining, if you're just boring. Now, I must scare you because you felt the need to respond to all of these. So, I guess I do scare you. You have nothing to be scared of, because all I speak is, I argue for the truth and argue against bad ideas. But of course, a lot of those bad ideas are the ideas that you support. And then in a tweet earlier on that day, I said, today it is exceptionally important to retweet and like all tweets calling out the bullshit in the Women's March 2018. False information is spreading. We need to stop it. Spoken like someone who's completely unsure of his manhood. I actually had to reread this tweet about 10 times, because I wasn't exactly sure what she was referring to. What's wrong with Women's March 2018 is, number one, there's a lot of ideas being spread within the movement, or within the march itself, but then it's promoted everywhere on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the social media platforms. It's advertised radically, but it's only showing the positive, or the supportive arguments for Women's March 2018 and all the signs that are there. I saw so many things about Donald Trump signs, stuff like that, and I will say this, I laughed at a lot of the Donald Trump signs. I'm not someone who supports Donald Trump, and so a lot of them were pretty funny. But then there's a lot of them about gender inequality that are just outright incorrect. But if someone who doesn't know that there is no wage gap sees tweets about and pictures about this wage gap getting spread everywhere, then they're going to believe in the wage gap. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to, like I say, prevent the spread of false information and improve the spread of correct information. Twitter, horribly liberally biased, only promotes things that are, liberal arguments. So you only see, if you go on your search, you only see in what's promoted is liberal ideas and liberal biases. Despite how many retweets a tweet against it can get, it doesn't matter, it won't be promoted anywhere. It'll only be shown to people who follow it, unless Twitter shadow bans them, in which case they don't get anything. And so that's what I was talking about, is that they need to promote that. It has nothing to do with my manhood. In fact, I'm very confident in who I am as a person. I enjoy knowing who I am, what I want to be in terms of like my future, because I'm graduating from college soon, and knowing what I am politically. I'm completely concrete in my ideas. I'm concrete in my manhood. I mean, I don't really know how that makes me unsure of my manhood. What I care about is correct information, well, entertaining incorrect information. And I don't know how worrying about correct information makes me less of a man, or worrying about my manhood. I'm very confident in who I am as a person. So at this point, someone responded, Tahoe Vista, responded to her, but to both of us, and was saying, I think he was just asking who is trying to stop her. She seems to be off to a great start. Good for her too, by the way. So my response to that is, actually, no. I wasn't asking who was trying to stop her, really, because I know no one's trying to stop her on a group scale, at least. There could be individuals. There could be individual sexists who are trying to stop her that doesn't amount to much of anything. Or, people like someone running against her in an election is technically trying to stop her. But that's not trying to stop her on an oppression scale, on a group scale, on a scale that matters at all. And that's what it was referring to. There are people who try to stop her, and obviously they don't matter at all, and they don't amount to anything, and so she has nothing to worry about. So I wasn't really asking who was trying to stop her, but you're right, she is off to a great start, and good for her. I see her going places, but I just hope she doesn't continually blame the system for any failures she might have, and actually just take personal responsibility, unlike Hillary Clinton. But then the liberal decided to respond. So we're going to break this down. First, why even comment on a middle schooler's sign unless you're incredibly insecure? Second, he reveals himself as a likely MRA follower and misogynist with the crack about feminists. And then, thirdly, my guess is he lives in his parents' basement. And fourth, few if any women will have anything to do with him. So I already responded to this, and you'll see that in a second. But let's break this down. Why even comment on a middle schooler's sign unless you're incredibly insecure? Kind of went over that, but it has nothing to do about insecurity. I mean, if you saw a 12-year-old boy holding a sign that says, build the wall, or kick out all illegals, or something like that, would you feel any need to respond to him? What you're acting like is, if someone is young and they're just sharing their parents' ideas, that they're immune to getting any sort of criticism. And this is absolutely wrong. This is sort of an ageism type thing. I'm fine correcting anyone of any age, because if they're incorrect, they need to know it. And what's really good about someone at that age is they're very impressionable. Right now, all she has going through her head is her parents' ideas. what her parents have told her. But she probably has no idea about the opposite side, the factual side to things. And so I would love to criticize, I would love to interview this girl, actually, because I would love to sit her down and be like, okay, well, who is stopping you? And ask her such questions like that to get her to critically think about what she's saying, because that's what a lot of liberals lack, is critical thinking. To me, age doesn't matter. I don't know why you're so focused on age. Someone who's middle school age is, has no immunity to being criticized by any means. And it has no say on my security, my insecurity or security. I'm very secure in who I am. I have no insecurities about my political ideas. In fact, I'm very strong in my political ideas because I know my political ideas have a lot of basis in fact. I mean, there are some that don't, like being pro-choice. Being pro-choice isn't based in fact, it's based on morals. It's based on a moral argument. So I understand that there is no right or wrong when it comes to an issue like that. Is based on who believes what is right or wrong, rather than an idea like, oh, well, women are paid 77 cents for every dollar a man earns. That's obviously sexism, which is factually incorrect. Secondly, he reveals himself as a likely MRA follower and misogynist. I don't like the MRA. The MRA is just like feminism. Feminism sees issues and they only point out the issues that affect women, and then they also make up issues that affect women, and they put forth false statistics. They completely ignore anything that has to do with men. I mean, if you look at things like it was prostate cancer versus breast cancer, which basically they're almost like the equivalent when it comes to risk, when it comes to cost, when it comes to effect, like how many people it affects, everything like that. They're basically the same, but feminists only talk about one of the types of cancers. And there's only really, if you look at the funding for each, breast cancer gets significantly more than prostate cancer. And so the feminists, despite claiming about being for equality, are not for equality. MRA is essentially the same thing on the other side. They only take a look at issues that affect men. They don't take a look at issues that affect women. I've not seen so far, I mean, I don't really watch many MRA videos or anything. I watch a lot of feminist videos to debunk them, but MRA videos, I haven't seen anybody use false information or false statistics yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do, because they seem just as biased as the feminists do. I'm not MRA. I would speak out against an MRA video that I saw that contained false information, just like feminist videos do. I haven't seen any of those yet, though. And they're not nearly as popular as feminism is. And am I a misogynist? With the crack about feminists. Being anti-feminist has nothing to do with being a misogynist. In fact, the two aren't even slightly correlated. Being anti-feminist means that I stand against false information and bad ideas, and against the movement itself, which has become so corrupt that people, even the president is repeating false statistics like the wage gap, for example. I have the utmost respect for women, and you'll find that later on. And it seems like you don't have that respect for women, because you're expecting that I should want as many women wanting me as possible, as if that has anything to do with, as if me sleeping around has anything to do with the effectiveness or how good of a person I am, when I, clearly disagree with that. My guess is he lives in his parents' basement. This right here is my own apartment. Everything in here is my apartment. Out there too. I'm at college. This is my apartment. I live on my own for 9.5 months out of a year. No, it'd be 8.5 because of winter break. The other months, yes, I do live at home with my parents. We don't even have a basement. I just live in I'm in my room, my bedroom, but I hang out with my parents a lot over break. I don't really do much else other than hang out with my family. I do live at home for that, but I got a job offer for after college, because I'm an accounting major. I'm not someone who goes for like liberal arts or gender studies and can't do shit with their life. I got a job offer that pays incredibly well and will require me to relocate for 2 years. In fact, I'm going to be working somewhere random in the country for 2 years, the next 2 years after I graduate. I'm not going to be living at home at all for those 2 years. And then afterwards, once I graduate the program, I'm going to look for the best opportunity across the country for me to take, at which point, I'm never going to live at home again. My parents are building a new house, and I might go check it out sometime. Like if I go to stay with them for winter break or Christmas break again, go stay with them over Christmas. Yeah, I don't live in my parents' basement at all. I live on my own. So you're, what is that, 0 for 4, I think, so far? 0 for 3, 0 for 4, somewhere around there. And few, if any, women will have anything to do with him. Now, here is where I don't really understand. You're like a liberal, but then you're like not a liberal, because you're saying that women, I should be wanting a lot of women to want me. And that's not the case. In fact, I don't even care how many women want me. I don't care about that at all. I have one woman in my life, my girlfriend, who we've been together for over 5 years now, and we are currently planning on getting married. She's the only woman that I want in my life and that I care about in my life. I've had a lot of other women interested in me, but I don't care about that. That doesn't matter to me, and that has nothing to do with it. In fact, a lot of the women who are interested in me or have been interested in me know my political ideas. They know that I'm an anti-feminist, and they're perfectly fine with that. My girlfriend is 100% fine with me being an anti-feminist. In fact, we even a lot of times, she's not an anti-feminist herself, but we a lot of times discuss things that are like wrong within the feminist movement, because she realized, not being an anti-feminist, but not being a radical leftist, she's able to critically look at the feminist movement and see what's wrong with it as well. But we're going to get back to that in a second when she responds to me. So my tweet at the top here basically says what I just said, but in a very short form. Number 1, I correct false information. 2, I'm very self-confident and secure. 3, I'm not MRA nor misogynist, just anti-feminist. 4, I live on my own. 5, the only one I want to do anything with is my girlfriend and my future wife. The liberal went 0 for 5 in just one tweet, because somehow she went 0 for 5 in one tweet, which is pretty fucking impressive. I didn't even think you could make 5 points in one tweet, but she did it, and she was incorrect on all 5. But she responded, number 1, there was no false information to correct, referring back to my original tweet, the tweet responding to the girl, not that one, because I corrected false information there. 2, no adult male who is self-confident and secure needs to comment on a tween's sign or insists he's self-confident and secure. 3, we only have a claim you're not an MRA and misogynist. 4, see number 3. 5, very Mike Pence-like of you. So, number 1, there was no false information to correct. Yes, there was. Well, technically, you're a tiny bit right. Although she didn't make a claim herself, her sign was implying the claim that something is holding her back. Why would she hold a sign that says, "and you can't stop me," if no one's trying to stop her? She believes that someone's trying to stop her, and that's the claim that's being implied. It's not outright being stated, so you're technically right in that. But it still is false information, and 99.9% of people who read that tweet, regardless of their position, can understand the claim being made, which is false information because there is no one trying to hold her back. She's making the claim that someone's trying to hold her back. In fact, she's making the claim that society is trying to hold her back, but that's absolutely incorrect. So you're wrong in that sense that I was correcting false information there. 2, no adult male who is self-confident and secure needs to comment on a tween sign. Refer back to what I just said, because, it's kind of you're going back to ageism. No one's immune from criticism at all. Or insists he's self-consent. Good job with spelling. Good job there. And secure. The reason why I responded and said I'm self-confident and secure is because you said I'm not self-confident and secure. I am perfectly fine admitting that I'm self-confident and secure because I am self-confident and secure. If someone questions that, then I'll explain it to them. But I am self-confident and secure. You'd be hard-pressed to find any insecurity about me related to political issues at all. Unless you're a liberal and you just think that anytime I correct someone, that's an insecurity, when all I'm doing is correcting false information. And we only have your claim you're not an MRA and misogynist. If I claim I'm not an MRA, I'm not an MRA. This is the no true Scotsman fallacy, but almost in reverse, the yes true Scotsman fallacy. I don't know what you'd call it exactly. If I say I'm not an MRA, I'm not an MRA. If a feminist says they're a feminist, they're a feminist. If an MRA says they're an MRA, they're an MRA. If someone says they're not a feminist, they're not a feminist. You can't reclassify someone based on your personal opinion of a matter. That's like you saying you're not a liberal and me calling you a liberal. I mean, and this is something you personally, the liberal, does, is calls me a conservative because they're so radically left that any ideas to the right of them at all, even if they are still to the left of center, are considered conservative to them. That's not how it works. I'm not conservative. I'm not MRA. I really don't belong to any movements at all. I just call out bad ideas and I defend ideas that I believe should be defended. That's basically it. And I'm not a misogynist. In fact, you could ask my girlfriend that. I know that sounds weird, but my girlfriend would attest that I'm not a misogynist. In fact, she wouldn't date me if I was a misogynist. And then my number 4 response was that I live on my own, and then you said C number 3. We only have your claim that you're not an MRA and misogynist. So I see that your logic doesn't follow through there, because number 3 has to do with MRA and misogynist, not me living on my own. I guess because you're a liberal, it's hard to keep things straight because you have so many bad ideas going around in your head, but we'll ignore that. And then 5, very Mike Pence-like of you. This is the thing that I love about liberals. If they can't prove you wrong, then they just comment that you are like someone that they dislike. I dislike Mike Pence. You dislike Mike Pence. You say I'm Mike Pence-like because I respect my girlfriend. So are you saying that I shouldn't respect my girlfriend, that I should cheat on my girlfriend and try to get as many girls to sleep with me and be with me as I want? Is that what you're saying? Because that's not very liberal of you. Typically, people who are on the left are like overly about respect for women, overly, like way past, you know, normal respect for women. And here I am literally respecting a person, and you're comparing me to Mike Pence. Okay. I mean, Mike Pence was right. There's nothing wrong with wanting to respect your wife or girlfriend. He's right in that regard. He's wrong in so many other regards, but he's right in that regard. So yeah, try to get your information straight. Try not to be that big of a liberal, you know, actually be able to follow a train of thought, a thought process, etc. And so then going back, she responded again saying the so-called conservative proved my points all in one tweet. I disproved all of your points in one tweet. So, you know, once again, this is showing that you don't have a correct thought process. I honestly think this person is a troll, drunk, or high. It has to be one of those because no one can be this stupid. But it hopefully will provide some entertainment for you guys. And, you know, this goes back to what I just said. Just because someone is, I mean, you're so fucking radical left that anyone slightly to the right of you, even if they're still left-wing, is going to be a conservative, apparently. Because, I mean, it's hilarious. I've taken so many political tests, and every single one of them puts me almost exactly center or slightly to the left of center. None of them have ever put me right-wing at all. I have ideas that are more right-wing leaning, although they shouldn't be, like believing in lower taxes shouldn't be considered a right-wing idea. That should just be the norm, because anyone who has an understanding of economics knows that that's what works. But still, that's about it for this video. I apologize for it being so long. Oh god, that was a lot longer than I thought it'd be. Yeah, so if you guys have any personal responses to this, you can either go on Twitter and respond to this thread yourself. You'll find it on my Twitter, link down in the description below. Or you can post a comment down below on the YouTube video. That works as well. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to comment, rate, and subscribe. And as always, have a nice day.